What's going on YouTube? It's your boy VULCAN. Today I'm bringing you guys the Vulcan gameplay for the A to Z series. The first game that I got for Vulcan got messed up on Twitch. The audio was all messed up. Twitch has just been giving me a lot of audio issues lately, so I apologize for that. I think I talked about that in one of my recent commentaries, one of my videos. But also when it comes to this video, this was on stream when I was listening to, we were doing song requests, which basically is, if you don't know already, you can join the stream. If you're a sub, you can actually request music that I can listen to, and we'll listen to it on stream as long as it's you know, appropriate, all things considered. So because of that, there's actually no audio for this entire gameplay, but because of that, I'm going to be doing a commentary over the entire video, just giving you guys some updates, talking a little bit about like the play-by-play. Nothing too crazy because it was just a casual, so it's not taken too serious, but it was a pretty fun gameplay, and it was basically the second gameplay that I went for with Vulcan. And Vulcan I've actually been enjoying a lot lately. I think he's one of the more fun gods to play right now, at least for me, and he's also fun to take into solo just because he's definitely off meta, and you can just try some crazy stuff with him. So yeah, like I said, just gonna be giving some updates, a little play-by-play, some play, and like the build and everything like that. So right here, we'll first talk about my starting build. I do like going tier 2 bank cross on mages in solo, but I decided to go for the mage's blessing this game because it helps his early game clear Vulcan a lot. And also, if you just go mage's blessing into cooldown boots, you're sitting at 30% CDR once you have your mage's blessing fully stacked when you have your blue buff. So that's crazy. So initially I took a lot of poke for him for no reason, as far as like walking the lane, so that was kind of a bad decision there, but we ended up getting the better trade in the long run. And also looking at his pots and like his start and everything, he looks like he wants to rush Golden Blade, so it's not too bad. Need to make sure that you get those last 2 minions so you hit level 2. So I just tagged those and walked to my blue buff. I got the minions in lane, and now I'll get my blue buff as well. So I'm gonna hit 2 all fine and dandy. And another like annoying thing about Vulcan in solo, I mean, his poke is just crazy, and his wave clear is really good, but it's also his turret, so it's basically another structure that the enemy solo has to worry about, and it can zone them out really well. Like right here is not the best example of that, but if I place that a little bit better, it would be really hard for a melee character like Nemesis to actually walk up to the wave. Laning phase isn't too crazy. You guys can just like watch in the background, because I'm just going to talk to you guys a little bit about next season and what my plans are. So this is the update I'm talking about, where I was talking about at the beginning. So everyone knows how next season's going to work for the Season 6 SPL. And everyone pretty much knows that there's going to be team houses, and every game is going to be on LAN. However, I'm actually not permanently moving to Atlanta. What my plan is, since I live in Florida, I live in Orlando, Florida, which is a bordering state to Georgia. My plan is to go up there basically every other week with the help of my org, Team Rival. I'm going to be taking flights up there, but I'm also going to be driving up there occasionally as well. So I'm basically going to be up there every other week to play my games and to hang out with the team and to practice and do all that good stuff. And I'm going to be going there early for the game, so that I can be there with my team for the entire week in the team house, because we do have a team house. Be making content there and everything like that. And even if you don't care about the competitive side of things with Smite, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you don't, this still is relevant to you guys, because it is going to mess with my schedule a little bit, and I am going to have to try and figure out how to balance making content and doing YouTube plus streaming while having all of this on my schedule and everything like that. So I do want to say that competitive is my passion, of course, but also it's my priority as well. So if some days I miss an upload, or I stream a little bit less often because of, you know, constantly having to be moving and doing all this stuff, then so be it. Definitely sucks, but that'll just come with balancing it out. But at the same time, I think it's just going to take some time to actually balance out and figure out what exactly I need to do, and how I need to balance it, and you know, schedule things. So a little bit repetitive there, but I hope you guys understand, get the point. Just a little update, and kind of just telling you guys my plans as far as the next season goes. However, but it also opens up opportunities of like making videos with like my team and stuff like that, with my new teammates, and being in the house with them and all that good stuff. So be on the lookout for that. I'm not really sure what Nem was going for there, but I'm trying to stop my back guy see him. So this is what I was talking about, going into the cooldown boots. Pen boots obviously really good, but if you go Mage's Blessing plus cooldown boots and then you have blue buff, 30% CDR, like you're almost at max CDR and you haven't even really bought any CDR items. I mean, I don't even consider cooldown boots a CDR item because half the time you buy it for the mana as well, and that's another benefit to going it on the Vulcan solo. So going Aegis here because I just assumed it was either Bastet or Nem solo. It could have been like Kuzma solo with like Nem support or Bastet support, but either way, Aegis is going to be a better option here just because all of their stuff is slows. They don't really have any CC. Sprint is an option, but that's not really going to help you out too much. So also this matchup's a little bit weird because every ability that I have, Nemesis can shield. Even my Meatball, even though it's a CC, the damage goes through first, so she will heal off of it. So kind of rough matchup, and she can run me down pretty well, but with Vulcan passive, it's not the worst thing ever. So as you can see with the poke, the push, and like the zoning potential that Vulcan has in lane for solo, I have a lot of damage on his tower, just because it's so hard for him to actually walk up to the wave to get the gold before he hits the tower and really just defend his tower from taking all that damage. So at this point, we're full clearing the archers with our backfire into Meatball. Just hiding the wave here because it is a Nemesis, and if you just sit behind your minions, it's going to be really hard for her to actually get the poke on you. This is a really, really good poke. And honestly, I thought I was getting ganked here because it was kind of a weird Nem ult, so I just went ahead and threw out my ult. I didn't really need to do that, but if he didn't dash, I would have gotten the kill. So he has a bit of an XP lead on me right now, but I'm getting the better of the trades. Go for the kill here, and this is what I was talking about before, just because she can heal off of every one of our abilities, it's really hard for us to actually secure kills if she has her shield up. So, but we come over with the gank, missed the backfire, but it's no problem. Should be able to get a double kill here if we play it correctly, but it looks like them got slowed and actually couldn't hit her abilities. But I go for the perfect auto cancel combo to try and get the kill. We ended up not getting it, but blue's up at the end of the day, and that was the whole point of poking her out to begin with, so we're going to be able to get them. Just looking for her around the corner for now. Look at this amount of damage we have on the tower, which I was talking about before. So we're still in a good spot, getting that blue buff and anything like that. So, but just to go back to talking about like my plans for next season, it also with the changes and everything like that, there's going to just be more overall content for fans of the SPL in general, not just from me, but that Hi-Rez is making, that the orgs are going to be pushing, and just stuff like that. Just overall updates, and especially because we're going to all be living together. Or at least everyone will be living together, and I'll basically be living there for all intents and purposes. So it's just a lot of opportunity for content, stuff like that. So it's super exciting, and it's gonna, I think, produce like the most competitive season yet, but also one of the most fun and overall like good for media and everything like that. So it looked like Nem was gonna come to my blue buff here, so I just went ahead and went for the to secure on blue buff. Nem actually chasing me down, trying to get a kill under tower. And I was just saving my Aegis till the last second. So even if he got the kill on me there, which is definitely possible that he could have if he played it perfectly, he would have died anyway because I ran as far back into my tower as I could and timed my Aegis till the end of it so that he really had to commit deep before actually getting the kill. But I was talking about before is I just, securing my blue up because it looked like he wanted to come to it. He did end up coming to it, but it was just a little bit late and I already gotten it. And at no point there, especially because I have tier 2 defense already, no point there was I really afraid of dying without getting at least something from it. I knew if he really wanted to dive me under tower that I would at least trade the kill, but at the end of the day it worked out, timing her Aegis and then backfiring away, and the slow ran out on her too, so I was able to just get away from it there. And now I have so much pressure. She tried to TP the tower, but the tower's gone, basically from all that early poke and push that we have. But now at this point, I got a 2-level lead. The tower's gone. We're going to be able to get this blue buff again, most likely. I just have a huge lead, and I'm going to be able to poke her out, and it's no longer too rough of a matchup. I would say in most matchups that aren't in your favor, that the point at which it turns is probably around like a 2-level lead. A 1-level lead, if you're playing into a matchup that's not in your favor, isn't that big of a deal. Once you hit that 2-level and more gold, and maybe even like stealing some of their buffs like a blue buff, then you're actually going to be in control. Even if it's really a bad matchup, unless you make a really bad misplay, then you're going to be chilling and you're going to be taking that matchup away from them. So at this point, like I said, big lead, level 10. The build I'm opting for this game, I was rushing that cedar like I talked about before. I'm also going the Elo helm. That's what people have been calling it. It's the Celestial Legion helm. The reason it's so good is because it's cheap. It has MP5 on it, which is really nice, and it has a ton of protections on it, and it helps out with your damage a little bit because it gives you power. But the reality of it is that it's efficient. and it has so much protection. It's 90 protection once you have that thing fully stacked up. It's pretty easy to remove the stacks on it, especially with like characters with like dots and stuff like Bastet and everything. But at the end of the day, it's just so efficient of an item that it's always worth to buy, really. And I prefer it over the breastplate just because, like I talked about, I mean, I'm already at 30% CDR when I have my blue buff, and I should have that most of the time. So going an item that's like super efficient like that also increases my damage a little bit. It's just really nice, and it's just one of those bruiser items that should definitely be on the lookout when you're building your bruiser mages or your bruiser guardians sometimes even. So I come over to mid, and with my lead, I can just basically do whatever I want right now. I don't have any magical defense, but it's Kukulkan. We can dodge his abilities pretty easily. Get the kill on him, and then just save our Nemesis. So we're just getting even further ahead. Nemesis had to really get out of there, and I can just go farm my wave, which appears to be stacking pretty hard, so I'm gonna get a lot of XP. So just continuing with my lead, and one thing that you really want to make sure that you're doing, even though this is casual and it's not the most serious thing, like I talked about, in your ranked games or even your competitive games, if you're a competitive player for Smite, is when you're a solo laner, you want to transition. If you get a lead, you want to transition that across the map as best as you can. There's a lot of different ways to do this. One of them is just to invade on your side of the map. It's also to make rotations to mid and relieve pressure, or maybe gank somewhere, or force rotations to your side of the map. There's plenty of ways to do this, and I talk about it a lot in my videos. But if you do have a lead, don't just sit in your lane with it for the rest of the game, because the earlier you make an impact on the rest of the map, the quicker that your team can get back in the game and potentially win it. So I ult the wave there and get all of it except for the brute minion, the big one. And I wanted to do that. I just wanted to drive by the wave and then go for their backs and go to mid to look for another gank on Kukulkan. But their backs were down, and I didn't see the potential for a gank on Kukulkan. But he ends up staying after being low health for the second look for the gank, and I was able to get the kill. Bastet weirdly committing to me here. Like, I have a lot of defense, a lot of CDRs, not much she can do, and I have the lead on her by, what is that, 4 levels? 3 levels? I can't quite see the number. Okay, I'm at 5 at this point. I actually really enjoyed this play that I made, backfiring to get into range for my meatball, and then throwing down the turret into a backfire through the wall, which honestly I think is one of the coolest changes they've had in a while, making backfire go through walls. I already really enjoy Vulcan's kit, like I talked about before, but backfire is a cool ability, and the fact that it goes through walls makes them really fun to play. So definitely enjoy that. So just get a double kill on mid because Bastet kind of over aggressive or trying to punish me when she didn't really have the option. And that's one thing that I think like separates, toot my own horn here a little bit, but one thing that separates, I think, like amateur players, even really good players, from like professional and like expert players, is just like knowing how much that you can do and knowing how much that you can tank. Like a lot of times, like if you watch me on my stream or even like watch this video but you don't have the audio so you can't quite hear, is that I will like say before anything even happens, like, this character can't kill me, or like, I don't know why they're going on me, or like, why are they trying to fight this, like stuff like that. And it's not like really a dig at them, like saying they're noobs, why they don't know that they can't kill me here. It's more like I know that I won't die, and I'm like confident that I won't, and that maybe I can even outplay them if they think they can kill me. But that's just something that like comes with experience and like practicing it. And it's also like, I think it's a positive thing when people are over aggressive and like really try and like test their limits and stuff like that, especially if you're like a newish player, or at least like maybe an average player, and you're really trying to get better at the game. It's just to be really aggressive and try out things, and obviously not like to a point of trolling, but you know, when you have a lead, seeing what you can do with that lead, or seeing if you can fight back into something or something, like, you know, stuff like that. Basically what I'm trying to say is that you really won't learn these extreme scenarios where you can outplay people if you don't try it. But I'm not trying to give everyone permission, all my viewers permission, to just go and troll in their games and run at the enemy Titan saying that they can 1v1 it, but you guys understand what I'm saying, you know. There's another one of those scenarios where almost like they're just trying to punish me, but I have such a big lead that I can pretty much do whatever I want. Still full health. Didn't really need to Aegis, to be honest, but I just have that huge level lead that I can sit in their jungle and punish them if they want to come over and gank me. So, but this is why I enjoy Vulcan so much. Not because you can get a lead with him, but just because he's so fun to play with a lead. But also he just has such low cooldowns on his abilities and everything, and they're just so like quick and interactive and fun to use that, I don't know, I just really enjoy him. I don't know if you guys agree, maybe you don't, but if you do enjoy Vulcan, try taking him in the solo lane. He's been fun to play lately. Like I said, this was like only my second gameplay on him, but this was from a stream a bit ago, and I've just been kind of just grinding him a little bit lately. So another example where with this lead that I have, I can just sit in mid and 1v2 if they do want to go on me, and look for cheeky plays if I want to, which I think I end up getting a pretty cheeky play here. There is a team fight going on, so realistically you shouldn't be doing this, looking for a cheeky play when your team could potentially be losing a team fight. But at the end of the day, I could kill him and then go over and clean up the team fight anyway. So not perfect, but it's just for the memes and the views at the end of the day. And we end up winning the team fight anyway, so we have a really big lead at this point. This game's pretty much over unless we do something pretty crazy, which at this point I'm basically trying to do just so we can extend the gameplay. Just kidding. Which this is basically crazy what I was talking about before. My turret ends up taking the tower there, so I actually probably would have died there if I didn't have my turret to take the tower, so that was kind of lucky. Kuzenbo got a good push on me, and I really didn't think I was going to get hit by the Uller X to begin with, so I thought I was perfectly fine. But the squad came over to help anyway, so it ended up being good. So now at this point, looking at my build, I have Major Blessing, cooldown boots, Pythags piece, which I think is actually a pretty underrated item, especially for like a solo laner who is building a little bit more tanky and maybe utility. So we go Pythags piece, which has 10% CDR in it. So at this point, with our blue buff, we are at max CDR, which is pretty crazy. We have 2 items basically with CDR, a starter item and then a cooldown boots, which, like I said, I didn't really consider that a CDR item. It's not really investing in the CDR. So we're at full CDR, which is really nice. And we got a good bruiser build at this point with a good amount of protections and health. Pythags actually gives you 200 health, I believe. Don't remember, but they added health to it a bit back. And then I have 150 from Void Stone, so I'm at 350 extra health from my items, and then a good amount of protection as well with 60 for magical, and then 90 if I have my Celestial Legion helm passive stacked up. 90 protections, that's ridiculous, man. For only 2050 gold. That item only costs 2050 gold, so really liking the build thus far. If you have any like changes to it or things that you might think have made it better. I was surprised at how much damage that just did to that Bastet with my meatball. I mean, it is maxed out, but she was sitting at like half health. But I guess at the end of the day, I'm level 18, she's level 12. It's a big difference in our health pools, to be honest. So my nemesis ended up dying there, but I think we ended up getting the kill. Kukulkan with Gem of Isolation is one of the most annoying things in the game. I'm telling you guys, you are slowed forever to make that play. I was surprised here that my turret didn't hit him. I was really wondering why my turret didn't, because I thought it was a pretty good play, and I had the turret down, but for some reason it didn't hit him with the shot. I guess he hid behind the tower and it doesn't do it. I go for the outplay, but he ends up just getting into range for my backfire anyway. So pretty fun. I don't think this game is going to last too much longer. With our lead, we can do pretty much whatever, sitting at speed buff, trying to hit Bastet over the wall. I think if you heard the audio cue, she actually jumped over the wall here, so I was going for the steal from downtown and potential one-shot on Bastet, but ended up not happening. I think she must have walked out of the range or the AoE of the ult there, because it didn't even show a damage number for her. I'm pretty sure. I think she would have gotten one shot by it. So that's one thing that Vulcan did have going in his favor in this matchup, was that you could backfire the Nem2 like pretty easily. Like if she was in, as long as she wasn't like barrel stuffing you, that you could backfire out of the range of the slice and dice. So pretty nice. Bars. But we're just kind of winding down here. At this point, 10-0 and 3. Going for the Wing Blade as our 5th item. They just have a ton of slows. He has Gem of ISO. Bastet has slows. That's what she does. Nemesis has slows. That's what she does. And I guess Kuzenbo has a slow as well, but nobody else does. So the Wing Blade is just like one of those stat efficient items. It's only 1850 gold, and you know, when they have slows, you might as well go it. And Wing Blade is kind of always good as well, because some people think like, oh, I just should go Wing Blade when they have a ton of slows. But at the same time, even if they have 1 or 2 slows, when those single slows are used on you, they become a lot less efficient if it's likely that they're going to be procced on a Wing Blade passive, if that makes sense. Like the extra effective Wing Blade and the fact that you are immune to slows after you immune that first slow is nice, for especially when they have a lot of slows. But even if they have like 1 or 2, like I said, it's a lot less likely that they're going to actually get it off on you. So just a little thing with Wing Blade. And I actually think it was pretty underrated throughout this season. especially considering the fact that protections aren't that great and utility items are more valuable. So I mean, like Matter's Blessing, it's basically the equivalent of that, but just for slows. So, and I talk about a lot how Matter's Blessing was really good value last season just because utility was a lot more important than health and protection. So I think going into the next season, Wingblade's going to be valued more, and we should value it more, and you guys should test it out and use it. I just missed the attack speed on it. That's really what I miss. We need to bring the attack speed back on Wingblade. But that's it for the gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed this little commentary, little update, little play-by-play. Not too crazy of a play-by-play, just you know, just talking about what happened, and you know, it was a casual at the end of the day, so it was fun. Well, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video, which should be the end of AZ series, or maybe a rank gameplay, or maybe even like an off-meta upload, like Black Ops or something like that, which I've been playing lately. So I'll see you guys then. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and peace out.